Good morning and welcome to TAPP Talk Live. This is number 43 and here we are today in Malta talking about tap water and water filters and also water in Malta. We're live from Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. and today we are talking about fluoride and fluoride in drinking water. It can be a sort of controversial subject. People have different views on it. But I've been researching some facts for you, and I'd like to be able to tell you a little bit about fluoride in water, what fluoride is, if you find it in Maltese water, and if you can filter it out with some methods of filtration. So if you're catching the recording, we are live Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. with interesting things about water and tap water in Malta. You can put comments and questions in the box, either if you're live today, and I can see a few of you online, so live today, you can just put your comments in the Facebook questions box or LinkedIn or YouTube. And also if you're watching a recording, you can do the same thing and you can catch our full schedule of recordings at tapwater.mt/live. And if you're watching on YouTube, please don't forget to subscribe. So today let's talk about fluoride. And I've done a few slides for you here. What is fluoride? Well, let's start with that. Well, it is an absolutely natural mineral, but it's not really defined as a nutrient or anything like that, but it is a naturally occurring mineral in our drinking water. So it's coming out of the groundwater that we have here in Malta. And in fact, it has been proven that it helps tooth decay, and that's what the dentists and people in that industry will focus on, that fluoride helps tooth decay. It is therefore added into some toothpastes and stuff like that. And in some countries, it's added into the water as a sort of mass treatment of healthy teeth. In the States, that is more prevalent than in Europe. And in fact, in the States, there is more of a sort of anti-fluoride campaign because it's kind of like, from that point of view, the people who are campaigning are taking it as this is medication without our consent type thing. So it is not added to the water in Malta. And that's one fact you may not know. In plenty of other countries in Europe, it is also not added to the water. But in Malta, it is not added to the water, but it is found in drinking water, toothpaste, sea salt, and actually tea as well, which I found interesting. So from one of the dentist websites here in Malta, fluoride has been researched for over 50 years, and fluoridation has been proven to cut dental decay by 40 to 60%. Now, on the other side of that, dental fluorosis can occur when too much fluoride is taken. So, for instance, when you've got a water supply that's fluoridated to a higher level, and then when kids eat toothpaste, actually, I didn't know that was a thing. Yeah, probably I did if I remember back. It's a long time ago when my kids were young enough to eat toothpaste. But yes, supplements on already fluoridated water. So, what's the state of fluoridation in Malta? Skipped a slide there. So, our independent tests here at Tap Water, we independently tested water here in Malta in December 2020 before and after filtration. And the levels of fluoride that we found before filtration was less than 0.05 milligrams per litre. That is like almost undetectable. It's really low. It's almost like nothing. And after filtration, it was also registering at less than 0.05. So 0.05 is a sort of minimum testing level. Anything above that, you start to count the numbers. Anything below that, you're not. Okay, so what was interesting was this was our test results. And what was interesting is there was some research, which actually isn't on this slide. I'm sorry, I must have forgotten about that. Yeah, it's coming up on the next one. There was some research done quite early on, about 1989, about fluoridation in Malta, because for Malta it's quite interesting. What happened was we used to use much more groundwater in our water, in our public water supply. Before the groundwater started to run out, the levels started to get low because they were drilling far too many boreholes and it wasn't managed correctly. Now it's managed much better, but of course we've had to replace the lack of groundwater with lots more water from reverse osmosis. Interestingly enough, reverse osmosis contains no fluoride. Okay, very, very minimal levels of fluoride. The groundwater contains fluoride. So therefore, what happens if we're now using 60% reverse osmosis water and 40% groundwater, the levels of fluoridation occurring naturally in our water are minimal. They're very low. So if there was an advantage of using the reverse osmosis system for our water supply rather than natural groundwater, etc., then it was the fluoridation thing. So fluoride measures in the research that was done in 1989 were quite low anyway. However, they're much lower now. And also what was interesting is that research was focused on, if we go to more reverse osmosis water, will we see the incident of dental infection, dental caries in Malta, so gum disease and things like that, will we see that increase? And in fact, there has been no research that I have seen that has shown that the levels of fluoridation in the water decreasing has led to an increase in the extent of dental decay in Malta. So I've not seen any research about that, which I found quite interesting. Okay. Fluoride in drinking water, how much is actually safe? Right, so what the Maltese, what that University of Malta in 1989 defined was that water containing 1 part per million of fluoride is regarded as high fluoride water. Concentrations of 2 is too much. Okay, now we've got concentrations of less than 0.05 milligrams, so 0.05 parts per million. So much lower than the one, much lower. So the concentration of fluoride in Maltese water is not a problem. That's what we're finding out from this research. But some people are going to still be interested in, can you still filter it? Okay, so we've got not very much fluoride at all, and as answers to can we filter it. Sorry, got one more slide here about gozo drinking. What I found interesting was a later piece of research which has some interesting information about fluoride in the water in Malta. This was a 2011 study, and what they were actually looking for was fluorosis in school children in gozo. Now remember, fluorosis is not dental decay. Fluorosis is too much fluoride in the water, causing marks on the teeth and problems. So this is not happening as far as this research shows in gozo in school children. But what they did note was, and I found this interesting, the average fluoride levels in gozo's water supply is decreasing with time, especially since the introduction of the collection scheme in 2004, which is really the reverse osmosis starting, and over that period of time before 2004, the reverse osmosis starting to increase and the groundwater starting to decrease. So fluoride levels had already dropped from 2.5 in 1994, because that's groundwater, to a mean of 0.94 in 2000, and now a mean of 0.44 in 2006, and now we're tested results at 0.5. So 0.05. So that's quite interesting. There's also, there are different distributions of fluoride at that time they found in different areas. So fluoride is very low rates in our drinking water in Malta. However, you may still want to be interested in whether it's filtered or not. So let's look at that. So the American Medical Journal concluded that activated carbon filters remove some fluoride. There was a further test on ResearchGate that I found where somebody was actually testing the levels of fluoride removal using activated carbon, which may have been granular or block. They didn't say at the time, or I didn't read it at the time, I should say. But they were looking at something like 73% observed, where it started at a dose of 1.5 per milliliter, which is a lot higher than what we have. It's like 30 times what we have here in Malta. So activated carbon is removing fluoride according to these tests, and also reverse osmosis, I would like to add. The water filter guru confirms that contaminants are removed from a reverse osmosis filter, fluoride being one of them, because the fluoride molecule is bigger than the water molecule, so it is being filtered out in the membrane process of reverse osmosis. So an activated carbon block such as this, this is an activated carbon block. That's what we use inside these filters like this. This is the TAPP Eco Pro. The filter is really easy to remove. This is the carbon block that's inside one of these. So this is what the filter looks like with all its layers on the outside. This is the activated carbon block inside, which kind of looks like this. This filters in two ways. It's both adsorbing, which means ions stick to the surface, and this has got a very large surface area. And also as a membrane porosity, it passes through. So the tested results we have on our independent test is we have in these activated carbon blocks around 70% removal of fluoride. So not all of it, about 70% of removal of fluoride, and that's at the very low levels that we already have here present in Malta. So if you do have any questions or comments, if you're online presently, then please do just pop them in the chat box. In the meantime, you can see our whole schedule and also the recorded snippets of the previous recordings. I was stuttering there because I've just realized I never put the lights on, which is why it looks different today than it does normally, and I didn't notice. So yes, even without lights, we're still live every day, 10 o'clock Monday to Friday. You can see our full schedule at tapwater.mt/live. And if you're on YouTube and would like to give us a like of this video if you enjoyed it, or subscribe to the channel, then you'll get notifications of our lives. And that's it for today. I'd really like to thank you for turning up today and listening to some information about fluoride. I hope you found it useful, and we'll see you back again tomorrow if you're with us, Monday to Friday from 10 o'clock. Tomorrow we are live with a new product launch, so looking forward to that one. Thank you for today, and hopefully the lights on will be on tomorrow. Thank you.